Alright, man. I can do this. Alright, I'm a grown man now. And I refuse to let this soundtrack control me any longer. Flagnards. There is one soundtrack that never fails to get me emotional. It doesn't matter if it's the original, if it's a remix, a cover, something that even sounds like it. It doesn't matter. It will always have me feeling some type of way, and that's Aerith's theme from Final Fantasy VII. Now, if you've played the game, you're probably saying, well, duh. But hear me out a sec. I've experienced my fair share of entertainment, man, with incredible and emotional soundtracks, but most of the time, I've got to be in a certain type of mood for a soundtrack to hit me. But Aerith's theme? Listen, dog, if you were to tell me that someone hit me with some type of hypnosis that forces me to get emotional once I hear a note from this theme, I wouldn't even question it. In fact, if that were the case, I could end the video right now, because it would be a straightforward answer. But I don't really think it's as easy as that, man. Final Fantasy VII is a property that means a lot to me. And if you've watched a decent amount of my videos, you could probably tell just based on how much I reference it, man. It's one of the stories that got me heavily invested in Japanese media and helped shape the way that I view and experience stories in general. One of the major reasons why this franchise continues to pull me back in is because of its incredible cast of characters. An incredible cast usually means awesome interactions and relationships blossoming between certain characters, and one of those that would be in my S tier, my zenith of character interactions and relationships, is the relationship between Cloud and Aerith. This was especially made true in the remake, son. My most played sections of the game were chapter 8 and 9, and it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close, man. Now granted, that is because I had to go get the 3 separate dresses, but you catch my drift. Alright, you catch my drift. I love chapter 8 and 9 a lot. And those are the 2 most heavily based Cloud and Aerith chapters. Now there are multiple reasons for this, right? One being from purely an entertainment standpoint, because seeing Cloud and Aerith's playful interactions, I mean, yes. The other being how much of an impact the mere presence of the other allows them a sense of freedom. Cloud Strife is my favorite character in Final Fantasy VII. That's my boy, that's my dude, alright? And one of my favorite characters of all time. And that's 80% rawness and swag because he's out here doing his thing, you know? Always gets me hyped. But that's also 20% how relatable of a character he is. And the struggle with identity and always feeling like he's not doing enough. And the mental battle of having a place to go back to but not really wanting to be a burden to the people he cares about. And this causes him to believe that he really doesn't belong anywhere. And it causes the people around him to constantly have to snap him back into reality. It's something that I can really relate to on the most personal of levels, man. One of the things that causes him to move forward while also in certain instances keeping him in the past is Aerith. And I think that we all have that one thing that's like that for us as well. Something that keeps us moving forward while simultaneously keeping us chained to the past. And then you have Aerith, who's a character that's really bright and cheerful, but she also hides her sadness and loneliness behind this outgoing side of hers. She has a very important role to play, and she knows it, but she hesitates and wishes to keep living. And it's thanks to meeting Cloud and the squad that she's finally able to accept what she has to do, because she realizes just how precious and important life is, and wants everyone else to continue living and moving forward. I believe Aerith's theme embodies that, and is the reason why I'm so emotionally attached to that soundtrack. It's a theme that represents happiness the first few times you hear it, since you're out and about having fun with Aerith, trolling out on the streets and doing your thing. But then it changes and becomes a song of sadness as it plays when she dies, and the theme continues to play even during the boss battle, really heaping on exactly how both the party and you as a player are feeling at the time. And from now on, when this soundtrack plays both in-universe and for us as the player, we will either feel nostalgic and remember happy memories of spending time with Aerith, or we're gonna feel sadness for the fact that she's gone. Which, when I really think about it, fits the theme. It's a soundtrack that's both sweet and sad at the same time, with a tune that, at least for me, reminds me of my childhood, which I think represents Aerith's story so well. It's a soundtrack that has a strong connection to the journey of Final Fantasy VII, and because of my own personal connection to the game and its theme of life, I believe this is why I tend to get emotional when I hear this theme. It's a soundtrack that carries within it feelings of happiness, nostalgia, sadness, grief, and to a certain extent strength. And why wouldn't it carry those attributes? That's the theme of this game. That's life.